Hi everybody and welcome back to Lost Genre Reddit Stories. This post is from the subreddit Am I Overreacting? And it's by user Brown Alpha. Am I overreacting for being frustrated that my girlfriend is acting like my wife just 3 months into dating? Got some of my boys' opinions already, but I'd really appreciate a woman's perspective on this or someone who is not in their 20s. I'm 24 and my girlfriend, 26 female, and I have been officially dating for about 3 months. We hooked up at a mutual friend's party and things progressed quickly, to the point that she's been living with me for a few weeks now. I have my own place, she was over often, and it kind of naturally evolved. Here's the issue. I feel like she's suddenly trying to control big parts of my life. For example, she gets weird or passive-aggressive if I go to parties or work events without her, even if I'm just networking or grabbing a drink with colleagues. My job recently offered me a 3-week work trip to Singapore. I said yes on the spot, great opportunity for my career, and when I told her, she got really upset. She said I didn't factor her into the decision and that I wasn't considering her feelings. She basically acted like I owed her a discussion before accepting it, and got upset that I didn't. She implied I was being selfish and not treating the relationship seriously. To me, I'm just doing what's best for my career, which at 24, I feel is a big priority. I'm not disappearing forever, it's a short-term trip. I don't understand what the big deal is. We ended up arguing over it, and honestly, I left the conversation feeling like I'm being punished for having ambition and independence. I care about her, but this feels like a lot, especially considering we're only 3 months in. She's treating this like we're married already, and I don't know if that's normal or a red flag. Am I overreacting, or is she being controlling here? Well, OP, I'm not a woman, but I'm also not in my 20s, so I can give my opinion, I think. And my opinion is run away, because this is not normal, and it's not just a red flag, it's a huge red flag. You guys are already living together by her moving into your place before the 3-month mark, which is basically the honeymoon period, when you know some things about your partner, but not everything, because let's face it, there isn't much talking during that period. So yeah, she is being controlling. The fact that she gets weird or passive-aggressive if you go to work events without her, or the fact that she thinks you owe her a discussion regarding your career moves? I don't know, maybe it's just me, although I don't think so, but that's just crazy to me. I mean, I don't know, maybe I'm being extra cynical today, but if I were in your shoes, I'd be probably thinking, yeah, I don't need this grief right now, so I'm out. And what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments section, and now let's check out the community comments. Acrobatic Lion 8592 says, woman the same age as her here, you're not overreacting. You've been together a very short amount of time and it's already very full on. This is a complete guess, but all of my friends and peers are either getting engaged or announcing they're expecting or moving in together. I feel like now that we're getting closer to our later 20s, that progression is happening. If your girlfriend's peers and friends are doing similar, maybe she's trying to mirror that and act as if she's there too, without actually considering where you're both at. End of the day, if you're not ready for something as full of as it is, tell her. You're both young and in early stages of your relationship. It should be fun right now, not stressful. Also, side note, my partner and I have been together 7 years. If he told me he was offered to go to Singapore for 3 weeks with work and said yes on the spot, I'd be supportive. Would I be upset that we didn't talk about it first? Maybe. But I wouldn't tell him he was selfish for accepting or make him feel bad for it. Hell, I'd be jealous I couldn't go. Laughing emoji. Lost My Name and Password says, I'm a woman in my 60s. You two have barely been together a minute. She's taking some big liberties. Tell her you guys jumped the gun when you had her move in so soon. If you don't necessarily want to break up, I'd definitely try to walk back the living together. Tell her while you can appreciate that she feels left out of your decisions, they are yours to take, and if she can't handle that, she is welcome to leave. Because right now, your job and career is your priority, not your relationship. I would try real hard to not leave her in your house when you go to Singapore for 3 weeks, but do you have a friend or family member you trust either stay there or go over daily to check everything out? Try to get them to stay there. Slug in Disguise says, I don't think you're overreacting per se. However, she might have resentment feeling like she's more serious and you're not. I think some young women who are mid to late 20s start thinking about long-term relationships and goals, etc. I do think maybe you two just need to have a conversation about expectations with this new relationship and why she's feeling the way she is and why you're feeling the way you are. Communicate, really listen to each other and don't try to win. Set up the expectations and if they don't align, then you both know. And Kimi Sharma says, nope, you moved into this too fast. It's only been 3 months. She clearly thinks this relationship is super serious. Have a conversation and let her know where you stand. Guarantee she is expecting a lot more. Additional information from OP's comments. She technically still lives with her parents, but she's been spending more and more time at my place. She tells them she's with a childhood friend when she's really staying with me. At first, I liked it. I've lived alone since I was a teenager, so having her around was fun and convenient. We're both pretty active. We were hooking up daily and honestly, it felt natural. But over time, it shifted into her controlling my stuff and my life more than I expected. For me, moving in didn't feel super fast. I didn't think much of it because it was convenient, but I get now that from the outside it looks different. I also don't see dating as some kind of trial marriage. I've had girlfriends before and I've always been clear with them. My career comes first. Everything else is second. I'm not afraid of commitment, but I've always been more casual about relationships and I'm not used to being tied down. Meanwhile, she's only had one serious relationship before me over 5 years ago and I'm basically her second boyfriend. So I get the sense she's coming into this with way more weight on it than I am. Plus, her parents are well off, so it's not like she's here for money, but I do think she might be feeling pressure to catch up since her friends are getting married. The Singapore trip especially stung because what I was hoping for was her to be excited for me. I even thought about inviting her to tag along or extending it by a couple of weeks to hit Thailand afterward since I've got a ton of vacation time saved. In my head, it was like I work during the day, she hangs out at the hotel, and we go out together at night. That's what I pictured, but her reaction made me drop the idea immediately. Instead of being excited, it turned into me being selfish for saying yes too quickly, which honestly just killed the whole vibe. Also, day to day, I still do most of the cooking, cleaning, and meal prep. She helps sometimes, but not as much as I do. That's fine. I've been running my own place for years and I'm used to it. What's harder is feeling like suddenly my choices aren't my own. For me, career decisions are mine to take. I don't see the trip or even post-work drinks as something I need to get permission for, but that's kind of how it started to feel. Well, the community agrees that OP is not the a-hole, that maybe they're moving too fast and he should have a conversation with her. And OP gave us a lot more context as to what their relationship looks like. So now, let's move on to the update to see how this story ends. Firstly, thank you everyone for giving me some advice on this one. Unfortunately, or fortunately, things went south really fast. I'm breaking up with her. I had the conversation with her about 2 hours ago, took some work calls and went to the gym and wrote this up for all of you who helped me. The conversation started off calm enough, but things escalated quickly. She understood the whole career thing and agreed I was upfront with her about saying that's my priority, and she told me she liked the speed at which we were taking things because she really loves me and sees a future for us together. I opened up completely and told her that I wanted to slow things down and hit reset a little, to which she said point blank, "Are you breaking up with me?" I said, "No, I'm not. I just want us to really get to know each other. Like, we haven't even been on a vacation together and think she moved too soon." She ends up starting to accuse me of wanting to slow things down so she is not around and I can hook up with other people. She accused me of secretly meeting up with other girls in the last few weeks, and even at the party we met at, I was talking to other girls. I explained that the girls she was referring to were either old college friends I ran into, co-workers, or girlfriends of my buddies. Nothing weird or shady, but it didn't matter. She kept pushing and I could tell something wasn't right. She ends up saying I was in contact with Elizabeth, my ex-girlfriend from a few years ago, and I was like, what? She confesses when I ask her that she went through my MacBook that has my iMessage, Instagram logged in, etc. because she just wanted to make sure you weren't hiding anything. To be honest, that hit me like a ton of bricks. I had no idea she'd been secretly snooping around like that. The reason she mentioned Elizabeth was because while going through my messages, she saw a text exchange where I'd wished Elizabeth a happy birthday with a heart and suggested she should come visit me as it has been a while since we met. She accused me of secretly reconnecting with her and hiding this. I kept trying to explain, but it didn't help. She was convinced I was lying. I told her to take my phone and call the number to prove it wasn't my ex, and sure enough, it was my aunt, who lives in another state. Elizabeth is her name too. I told her I haven't spoken to my ex in years, even after hearing my aunt's voice, with whom I had a fake "hey, how's it going" conversation. She still wasn't fully convinced and said I was still hiding other things, if not this. The whole situation was just crazy. She'd been questioning my every move, checking up on me constantly, and it made me realize that this was less about care and more about control, like many of you were saying. I told her this was too much, and frankly, I had a work meeting coming up, so needed a few minutes to go back to work. She said sorry and that she won't do it again, to which I said I need space and I can't think right now, so she needs to leave. She said she won't leave my condo without me giving her a kiss. So I gave her a quick kiss and she left saying she'll call me later, to which I said, "Don't. I will tell you when I'm ready to talk, if I do get ready. I need my space, trust, and room to grow in a relationship, and that's not what this was at all. Thank you to those who gave me advice and the end me on the side to talk and to give me some advice. Time to do some career maxing now and enjoy Singapore." Additional information from OP's comments. The whole moving thing wasn't official, it was gradual. At first, she stayed over once or twice a week, then it turned into 5 or 6 nights on average. She lived way out in the suburbs with her parents, like 90 minutes away. So with her job being closer to me, it just kind of happened. I didn't stop it and that's on me. Lesson learned. I was dumb not thinking ahead. For context, she's an only child. Her parents are retired and still in the suburbs. After the breakup, I've already put in the request with condo management to change the locks. I own the place, so it's not a big deal, but figured it was the smart move. Looking back, I'll admit, I let the pace by letting her be over so often, even if I didn't mean it as "move in now." Next time, I know better. As I said before, things were gradual, not me inviting someone in, so we just hook up non-stop, but still, I should have slowed it down. Thanks again to everyone who gave me perspectives outside my circle. Needed that reality check. Well, OP, as you said it, lesson learned. Enjoy Singapore, and thanks so much for sharing. Take care. And now, let's move on to the next post that also has an update. This post is from the subreddit Am I the A-hole, and it's by user OverSupermarket200. Am I the a-hole for asking my brother to stop his friend from getting near my wife? Yesterday, my wife told me that she feels uncomfortable around my brother's friend and I need to talk to my brother. I said I wanted to talk to my brother or confront his friend, but you said you'll manage and I shouldn't interfere because I might lash out. She said that I was right and I should do what I want to, but I should be polite. I came back from work just a few hours ago and the first thing I did was to call my brother and I asked him to keep his friend away from my wife. He asked me, "Did my friend piss you off?" I asked him if he's dumb. Do you not see that your friend is being flirty? He said that his friend is playful. He's extrovert while we are introverts and we should just get along because my wife was also friendly with him. My brother's friend on every occasion tries to talk to my wife and he makes stupid jokes to make her laugh, and yesterday when we went to my brother's on my niece's birthday and his friend grabbed my wife's shoulder and tried to take a selfie with her. My wife said no and she came to me. And not just this, he also comments on pictures my wife uploads. I explained everything to my brother, but he said his friend is just playful and fun to be around. I said he should ask his friend to stay away from my wife, and if he doesn't, then we won't attend any family celebration if his friend is invited. He said we are overreacting and my wife should have shut him down early on if she had a problem with him. Are we a-holes here? No, OP, of course you're not the a-hole, and no, your brother's an idiot. You don't get just one chance to shut somebody down. You shut them down when they make you uncomfortable. Now, I'm getting the impression from what your wife has told you that she's non-confrontational, so maybe she's having a little trouble shutting him down. My only question here is, why are you talking to your brother? If anything, your brother should just get an FYI after you've called the friend and shut him down. Because if his friend makes your wife uncomfortable, your brother's not even in the equation. You just talk to the guy and tell him, cut it out. And then, like I said, you tell your brother, hey, FYI, I shut your friend down. And that's it. Problem solved. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section. And now let's check out the community comments. Grey Blue Girl says, your brother is not listening. Go directly to the horse's ass. Hey, stop talking to my wife. Don't touch her. She doesn't like it. I don't like it. Be friendly and playful somewhere else. Not the a-hole. And Opie responds, I thought that my brother would talk to his friend and tell him to stay away from his sister-in-law, but he would rather blame us and say that I'm overreacting and my wife shouldn't have become friendly with his friend and should have shut him down. Like, we ever wanted to get close to his friend. If he doesn't listen to me and asks his friend to stay away from my wife, then we might as well just stay away from them all. Bensil McPrush says, not the a-hole. Go talk to the guy straight up and introduce him to the concept of consent. And Bored BKK says, what the hell is all this asking BS about? You tell the a-hole in question to F off and never darken your door or contact your wife ever again. This isn't some case of toxic masculinity or such BS. This a-hole, and I'll read past your utterly passive description, is hitting on your wife, hitting on her physically. She has told you that she doesn't want this guy around her. Yet you're asking your brother to keep this a-hole away from your wife. Your brother actually defended this guy's actions. Why? Because you are coming across as completely passive, hell weak about all of this. You won't even call out this a-hole's behavior for what it is, so why would anyone else bother to do so, let alone protect your wife? I'm not suggesting that you meet this a-hole at high noon on Main Street, but at least stand up for yourself and your wife. Weakness is attractive to scumbags, and this a-hole sees it clearly. Even if your brother races this with him, all that's going to happen is laughter. Good luck. The community agrees that OP is not the a-hole and that OP needs to talk to said friend. So now let's move on to the update to see how this story ends. My brother told me that his friend was just being playful with my wife and my wife shouldn't have encouraged his friend and shut him down when his friend was harassing her. I decided to talk to his best friend directly. I called him, introduced myself, and I said that we don't like him getting close with my wife and it's best that he stays away from her on occasions we were at the same place. He said he is sorry, that he didn't mean to hurt me and my wife never had a problem with it. I said, but you did, and I am now speaking for my wife and you should stay away from us. He followed up with, yes, he will. My brother, my crappy-ass brother, his friend told him, and my crappy brother said that I shouldn't have talked to his friend and he did nothing wrong. He only tried to talk to my wife, make her laugh, and touched her shoulder for a selfie. I told my brother that it's vile and we don't want his best friend near us. We argued and I ended up telling him that if his friend is invited on our family gatherings or occasions, then we will leave. This whole thing became a family drama, and in the end my parents and my other siblings told my brother that his friend isn't invited and my brother is pissed. He says it's all my fault for making a huge deal about a selfie and small jokes. We are both happy with my family's decision and my wife said I have good siblings minus my brother. We were planning on skipping on every occasion where his friend was invited anyway, but I don't get my brother's reaction. His friend is harassing his sister-in-law and he is fine by it? It goes without a doubt that my brother's friend crossed the line. He doesn't even need to get a no from my wife. It's common sense. And my brother? He's a different breed. I even started doubting a bit whether he's my brother or not. Maybe he was switched or something. As I said, my family will side with us. We are family, minus my brother to me, and we will take our family's side instead of the harasser and his accomplice, my brother. My mom, my sisters, and my sister-in-law are all siding with my wife. Well, it'll be good for you. You called the idiot and shut him down, and now your brother is also out. Hopefully that'll be the end of it. So here's wishing you and your wife the best, OP. Thanks so much for sharing and take care. And now let's finish this video with a quick mood booster post. This post is from the subreddit Malicious Compliance and it's by user Brooks Sophia. Be available during lunch? Sure thing. My manager sent a passive-aggressive message to the whole team, clearly aimed at me.
Lunch breaks are unpaid, but everyone is expected to be available during core hours, including lunch.
I used to take a quick walk or step out to grab coffee. Never missed meetings, never late. But fine, if she wants me available, I'll play along. I started eating lunch at my desk every day. No headphones, not working, just sitting. I ignored emails and messages, and when people came over, I'd smile and say, I'm on my unpaid work, but I'll jump on it at 1. One day, she sent a message at 12:10 asking for a report as soon as possible. I didn't reply until 1. Someone else had scrambled to do it by then. She later asked why I didn't respond. I said, I was available, just not working, as instructed. She never brought up lunch breaks again. Well, OP, she's got nothing to be angry about. You did as instructed. Hopefully you got your lunch breaks back. Thanks for sharing, OP. And that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch it. Now, if you've gotten to this point in the video, I assume that you like these stories that I'm reading out. So here are a couple more that you might enjoy. And if you don't have any time to watch another story right now, save it for later. And also, don't forget to hit that subscribe button.